The Olight i3T has been my most carried flashlight for the past several years. And these are the three versions of the original, I guess the i3T1 as it were, that I've had. And as you know, because you clicked on this video, Olight recently came out with the i3T2. The three versions I have of the original one, the basic black, which I've stopped carrying because the tail button has really kind of stopped working well on that one. I have the blue kind of holographic sparkle version, and my most carried flashlight of any flashlight I own is this titanium i3T. I love just how compact it is and how bright it is, and it also happens to take kind of a 3.7 volt rechargeable battery. That is kind of not legally, but it takes it and it works. As many people know, it's not covered by the warranty, but I've been using that battery in this light for a few years and not had any problems. So use it at your own risk. Your mileage may vary, but I've been using it with no problems. So I saw that Olight came out with the i3T2, and one of the advantages of that is that it takes natively the rechargeable 10440 battery. It comes with an alkaline battery, but it will also take a rechargeable 3.7 volt battery, and it does that legally, and it runs cooler. The heads on these definitely get warm when you put that 3.7 volt battery in there. This one, when you have it on for a while, definitely doesn't get as hot. Let's do some quick comparisons of the construction of them. As you can see, the size of them is identical. The knurling is identical, although on the i3T2 it does go up a little bit higher just because of the placement of the pocket clip. The tail buttons are identical. The pocket clips, new pocket clip for the i3T2, you can see it has a deeper carry pocket clip because the pocket clip, I'll show you in a minute, is up under the tail cap. And I do appreciate that they've added just a little bit more space up there under that fold of the metal. I haven't had that problem with this one, but I've had that problem with other Olights and other flashlights, that this little fold is so narrow that when I'm putting it into thick fabric pants, I can't fit the fabric of the pocket up into that area. So I appreciate they've added this, just a little bit of space here. Otherwise, the rest of the light is pretty much the same. The LEDs, I don't know if it's a different LED or not, but looks very similar. Taking them apart just to show you the pocket clip difference. On the original, you can see the pocket clip is not under the tail cap. It will spin around, except on this titanium version where it's locked in there. I don't really think it's a big deal either way. The i3T2, when you take it off, you can see the pocket clip is up under that O-ring there, and it is fixed in there. So one of the advantages of that, I think, is the pocket clip is much more stable. I've had a few instances over the years where I've walked by, say, a chair, and the pocket clip got caught on something and actually ripped the pocket clip off the light. The light fell into my pocket, the pocket clip was stuck in the chair. With this one, you're not going to have that problem. Will you have problems with this one bending, as some people have complained? I don't know, it's not a problem I've ever had, but the pocket clip is not going to come off this because it is fixed in there. The user interface between the two of these is similar yet slightly different. The original one would always come on to low, and then you could ramp it to high. The i3T2 defaults coming on to high, and also the original, it is right on, the light is just right there, and the i3T2, as you can see, kind of blossoms into the light. I prefer the instant on versus that blossoming, but it is what it is there. The i3T2 comes out of the box high first and then low, so high and then low. However, you can change that. If you want to default it to where it comes on to low first, the manual says that there's two versions of this, a 5-click and a 9-click version. I find that the 5-click works for kind of both directions. And the way it goes is right now it's set to come on to high first and then low. If you want to make it come on to low first, you half press the tail button 5 times, and on the 5th time, you hold it in. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you can see there, and it's going to ramp down. Now it defaults to come with the low first and then to the high. If you want to click back so it goes to the high first, you do that same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you hold it, and now it's ramped up so it goes to the high first. And really just a personal preference. I prefer having the low first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I like the low first so that I'm not blinding myself. If I am intending to do it in something where I don't need as much light, I prefer knowing that I'm going to get a smaller amount of light first, and it's easier enough to click into the brighter version if you need to. Some other comparisons with these. With alkaline batteries, they both have a 5 lumen low output and the high output on the original version is 180 lumens, on the i3T2 is 200 lumens. On high, the i3T original goes for 21 minutes, and interestingly, the i3T2 at 200 lumen goes for 7 minutes and then ramps down 50% to 100 lumens. So you get 21 minutes of 180 or 7 minutes and then down to 100 with 28 minutes on the i3T2. Kind of interesting. It's not a big deal for me because I'm not using these lights to go search for someone in the woods. If I'm using it on high, it's really just a momentary burst for something that I need and then it's off, so really not a huge deal either way. So comparing the brightnesses here, both lights with the alkaline batteries, the 5 volt is identical. The high on them is maybe a hint brighter. With the i3T2, it gets 20 more lumens. It's not a huge difference, not much you're really going to notice. However, the big difference is when you put the 3.7 volt battery in, the low on the original i3T is definitely brighter, and the high is also brighter. I don't have a lumen meter for comparison, but it is definitely a little bit brighter in comparison to the i3T2. Again, the head does get warmer, but I do prefer that brighter output. It feels like it's maybe a slightly more focused beam. So there's the basics of the original i3T compared to the i3T2. What do I think of these? Which do I prefer? I like the higher brightness of the original i3T with 3.7 volt. I prefer the instant on of the light. This one definitely does run cooler, and I think I like the deeper carry pocket clip. It's nice that you can alter this whichever you want to come on first, high or low. But I don't know, I may still keep carrying this original. And right now, the only versions of the i3T2 are this black and this kind of gold design one. And I really like this titanium one. Hopefully they'll eventually come out with a titanium i3T2. They seem to come out with a lot of variations of these things. So there you go, the i3T1 and the i3T2. I will put some links to my videos that I've done to the original i3Ts up here. You can check those out as well. Appreciate it if you subscribe. Love to have you stick around for some more videos, and I'll catch you next time.